It's time for this episode of Weekly Digest, a look at what our ministers have been up to across the country. The week wrapped up with a nationwide cleanup campaign that saw government ministers joining citizens from all walks of life to lend a hand in keeping our communities clean and beautiful. We will return to this in a few minutes, but first, let's look at the other events and initiatives that have been making headlines. Minister Susan Rodriguez officially launched the first community business clinic of 2026 at Westminster Secondary School. Bringing together key government agencies, the clinic aims to provide small business owners and entrepreneurs with streamlined access to registration, compliance, financing, and advisory services in a single location. Later in the week, Minister Rodriguez attended the opening of a new court store at Vreeden Hope in Region 3, evidence of the growing confidence businesses and investors have in the government's management of Guyana's economy.
We have conducted in the last few years about 16 of these business clinics, benefiting 400 businesses across all 10 administrative regions. Now, this business clinic is new in the sense that these types of outreaches and training and capacity building have always existed.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security, the Honorable Vindhya Prasad, met with the Gender Affairs Bureau and the Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Policy Unit. The objective is to strengthen coordination on gender mainstreaming and violence prevention. Discussions focused on closer collaboration to engage men, women, boys, and girls in building positive values, strengthening emotional well-being, and promoting a safer and more equitable society. Minister of Housing Honorable Colin Crowell and Minister within the Ministry of Housing Honorable Vanessa Ben met with officials from the National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited. Their discussions focused on advancing greater cooperation on the acquisition of state lands under Nestle's purview and the regularization of informal settlements to support the expansion of the National Housing Program. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa attended a meeting hosted by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture. The roundtable discussions were held in Washington, D.C. Minister Mustafa outlined the major steps that Guyana has taken to modernize its agriculture sector, highlighting the adaptation of climate-smart practices, digital tools, and stronger support for small farmers. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired the Honorable Mark Phillips highlighted major progress on the Wales Gas-to-Energy project in Region 3, noting steady advancement with pipeline installation set to begin shortly and a growing workforce expected to peak at up to 1,600 workers. During an earlier engagement in the week, Prime Minister Phillips commissioned Aurora Solar Farm in Region 7. He described it as one of the largest solar farms in Guyana that will cut approximately 46,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually. Residents and members of the business community in Leeds, number 51 village and the surrounding quarantine areas were updated on the Palmyra to Molson Creek Highway project. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgil and his technical team engaged with residents on the 13-kilometer Lot 2 from Bloomfield to number 54 village. They provided updates on the key engineering and social impact during the construction period. Residents and stakeholders were also introduced to the contractor and supervisory consultant to ensure a greater level of transparency. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Saturday turned the sod for the Bartica Regional Health Hospital. This new hospital marks a significant step toward improving healthcare delivery and expanding access to quality services. Dr. Anthony underscored the government's commitment to ensuring equitable, high-quality healthcare for all. Minister of Education Sonia Parag visited the Guyana Digital School Hub at Cottonfield, Region 2 on Thursday. The minister toured the facility and engaged with staff. Discussions focused on expanding access to quality education. Minister Parag emphasized that education must not be limited because of geography. She highlighted the hub's role in providing students with access to free digital lessons across multiple subjects and supporting learning across the Cameroon-Supanang region. The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, deployed 22 waste management trucks to Region 6. The initiative was led by Minister Honorable Priyamanachan, who said this was another commitment by the government to strengthen sanitation services across all NDCs and municipalities. The initiative will improve garbage collection, enhance efficiency, and support cleaner, healthier communities as part of the national drive to modernize solid waste management. As mentioned earlier, ministers were fully engaged in a national cleanup exercise, working together to enhance the environment and make communities cleaner and more beautiful. We leave you with these images.
Welcome to the President's Diary, capturing a week of leadership defined by unity, service, and progress. His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali engaged families at the Kingston Seawall on Easter Monday, but it was a week with much more. The President took steps to help strengthen regional ties among CARICOM nations, while also honoring members of the Guyana Defense Force for their humanitarian service in Jamaica.
But first, let's begin with the long Easter weekend. President Ali came out to the Kingston Seawall Esplanade on Easter Monday, greeting families and listening to their stories, sharing their joy as they celebrate with kite flying, music, and food. On Tuesday, President Ali paid tribute to former Surinamese President Chandrokia Pusat Santoki. Attending the funeral service of Santoki, the president described him as a brother and astute statesman. President Ali reflected on their close bond of friendship, sharing that he received Santoki's final message over Eid al-Fitr, the Muslim celebration marking the end of Ramadan. On Wednesday, President Ali delivered a powerful tribute to the ranks of the Guyana Defense Force during a medal decoration ceremony at Base Camp Guyana. He commended their outstanding service in humanitarian and disaster relief efforts in Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa. One officer and 41 ranks were awarded the Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Response Medal for their courage, compassion, and dedication.
Guyana did what any responsible and compassionate family member would do. We responded. We responded not out of obligation, but out of conviction, not out of convenience, but out of commitment. Our humanitarian and disaster relief mission to Jamaica was a living expression of regional solidarity.
Following his engagement at Camp Ghana, President Ali held bilateral talks with CARICOM Chair and Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Terence Drew. Their discussions ended with the signing of a series of memoranda of agreements in areas of agriculture and food security, government modernization, and defense collaboration. President Ali welcomed St. Kitts and Nevis into the Global Biodiversity Alliance, an initiative that he has championed and continues to advocate for. At State House, the head of state held a working lunch with the chair of the United States Export-Import Bank, Mr. John Jovanovic, and his delegation. Discussions focused on key development priorities, including the gas-to-energy project and strengthening cooperation. Following their high-level discussions, the President and members of Cabinet, along with Mr. Jovanovic and the U.S. delegation, joined First Lady Arya Ali and First Son Zain Ali for his annual lemonade sale. The fundraising event raised an impressive $10 million for animal welfare in Guyana. President Dr. Irfan Ali and Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Pusat Bazezar held talks in Port of Spain on Friday. They agreed to advance and strengthen bilateral ties, focusing on areas such as food security, energy integration, technology exchange, human capital development and security, while also committing to establish a working group to remove trade barriers, boost competitiveness, and support future collaboration. Prime Minister Pusat Bazezar agreed to pay an official visit to Guyana to advance and consolidate economic relations.
That concludes this week's episode of the President's Diary, reflecting the continued service and statesmanship of His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you another edition.
On Thursday, First Son Zaid held his third lemonade sale on the lawns of State House. The goal of the fundraising event is to raise awareness of animal welfare in Guyana. Dozens of families, children, and animal lovers came out to the event to enjoy a cup of delicious lemonade and support the growing animal welfare movement.
I encourage everyone to come out and support Zaid's lemonade sale, because this sale is not about just tasting great tasty lemonade, but it's also about giving back to our animals. And these are our friends that doesn't have a voice, so we want to give back to them. Usually we give to every shelter. Well, we try to capture every shelter, animal shelter in the country, and it's basically about decreasing the overpopulation of stray animals. So this entire initiative is about the spay and neuter campaign. We have invited all our orphan kids. So all the kids from our various homes are here today. It's about 150 to 200 kids. So whenever we have any initiative or any celebration or any function rather at State House, we tend to invite them to come out and celebrate with us, to participate in whatever activity we have going on at State House, because, you know, we always say this is the people's home. So it's welcome to everyone.
With the support of First Lady Arya Ali and His Excellency President Mohamed Irfaan Ali and wide cross-section of Guyanese, the initiative amplifies the message of compassion and responsibility toward animals in Guyana.
It is now time for the Weekly Digest. We're going to find out what our ministers have been up to this week. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Susan Rodriguez met with Caribbean Tourism Organization representatives to advance preparations for the State of the Tourism Industry Conference 2026. Guyana will host the conference for the first time from October 5th to 9, with discussions focusing on venue selection, programming, and logistics. The conference will position Guyana to strengthen its role in regional tourism policy, expand its MICE tourism sector, and enhance opportunities for investment and industry growth. The Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vidya Prasad, visited one of the ministry's children's home on Wednesday to inspect ongoing renovations aimed at creating a safer and more nurturing environment for the children, and also reviewed the stores department to ensure consistent availability of essential supplies for their daily needs. Final works are being completed on the Ministry of Housing's new headquarters at Plantation Houston, East Bank Demerara. Minister of Housing Colin Crowell and Minister within the Ministry, Vanessa Ben, along with Permanent Secretary Bishram Kuben, visited the facility to assess progress on the nearly finished building. It is expected to accommodate over 400 staff and improve service delivery, with operations anticipated to commence by the first half of 2026. As part of the government's ongoing efforts to strengthen large-scale agricultural development, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa met with representatives of the consortium leading the commercial cultivation of corn and soybeans in Guyana. Minister Mustafa was updated on the production levels, which were steadily advancing the country towards self-sufficiency and potential export capacity. In a separate engagement, the minister met with a high-level team of Brazilian investors to explore opportunities for expanded agricultural investments. The local government minister, Priyamanik Chand, turned aside for a $40 million Eccles Ramsburg Neighborhood Democratic Council office on the east bank of Demerara. This marks a key step in strengthening local governance and improving service delivery. The new facility, to be completed within 4 months, replaced a dilapidated structure and was designed to provide a safer, more efficient, and accessible space for staff and residents. Between March 24 and 27, 2026, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Yu Todd, engaged in several bilateral meetings with ministerial and diplomatic representatives from Africa, Europe, Australia, and CARICOM. The meetings focused on advancing Guyana's foreign policy and strengthening economic and cooperative initiatives. Housing Minister Colin Crowell, along with Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Sarah Brown-Shadiq, handed over solar panels to residents of Kumaka and Mora in Region 1. A total of 29 households from Kumaka and 18 households from Mora benefited from the initiative, which aims to improve access to reliable and sustainable energy for hinterland communities. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips said the government of Guyana was advancing a modern, decentralized fire service to strengthen emergency response nationwide. He emphasized that firefighters must be equipped to respond to all types of disasters. Speaking at the Guyana Fire Service Officers Conference 2026, he outlined plans for a hybrid model combining professional and community-based units, announced that each neighborhood democratic council would be equipped with a fire tender to improve response times.
At the end of it all, it is the security of the people that matters most. So today is not simply the launch of a new program. Rather, it marks a meaningful step forward in our country's development and how we prepare for the future of Guyana's national security.
The launch of the Government of Guyana's Service Center in Region 2 marked a significant step toward faster and more efficient public service delivery. Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation Zulfikar Ali and his team engaged with residents on the ground, demonstrating how the one-stop hub brought together essential services, including business support, identification, immigration, and environmental services, all in a single location. The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority launched its Women in Aviation Conference in Georgetown on March 30, 2026, bringing together key stakeholders to advance female participation in the sector. Delivering the feature address, Minister Indar called for greater inclusion of women, reaffirming the government of Guyana's commitment to building a modern and world-class aviation industry. Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, celebrated with 613 graduates of the Board of Industrial Training from Regions 3 and 4 at the National Cultural Centre. He highlighted that they are not just certificate holders but vital contributors to Guyana's workforce and key drivers of the nation's continued growth and transformation. Minister Bishop Juan Edgel urged the Guyana National Shipping Corporation Limited at its 44th annual general meeting to strengthen competitiveness and maximize the value of its waterfront assets to meet growing market demands and achieve greater profitability. Minister of Education Sonia Parag engaged key partners in advancing Guyana's education sector as she received the project brief on the National Water Purification Project, FLOW, which was set to deliver clean water to 155 schools nationwide while promoting sustainability and student welfare, with initial rollout in Regions 3 and 6. As Guyana launches its 60th independence anniversary celebrations, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports Charles Ramsden delivered a message centered on pride, unity, and national vision. He highlighted the success of Mashramani as a reflection of the country's vibrant and resilient spirit, while emphasizing that Guyanese culture represents a globally recognized brand rooted in unity among the 6 races. And with that, we have wrapped up another episode of Weekly Digest, where we highlighted Guyana's path to transformation. I'll see you next time.
Welcome to the President's Diary, your official update on the leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. This week, the President engaged with high-level officials, commissioned the Karasabay airstrip, attended the Good Friday service, and attended one of the most anticipated events in Latam. The head of state met with outgoing World Bank Country Director Lilia Burunchiuk at State House. He expressed deep appreciation for the institution's strong support in Guyana's development. The president highlighted the ongoing collaboration in education, climate resilience, and drainage and irrigation, including the US $6 million drainage pump project aimed at strengthening flood protection across coastal communities. Meanwhile, President Ali met with the new board of directors of the Irokrama International Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development. He reviewed plans, offered guidance, and encouraged alignment with the Global Biodiversity Alliance, while reaffirming the center's role in managing 371,000 hectares of forests as a living laboratory that balances conservation, research, and sustainable development. The head of state met with the new Director General of UNESCO, Kalin El Inani, where he emphasized that Guyana's development path required a strong partnership with the organization. He highlighted that the government prioritized education, children, culture, history, art, heritage, and the orange economy as key drivers of national growth and economic diversification. President Dr. Ali delivered the opening address at the Seventh-day Adventist Caribbean Union Conference Regional Camporee at Blue Creek, where the theme, The Rise of an Empire, brought together young people in fellowship and purpose.
This is the ground that will produce the Joseph of tomorrow, young men and women of integrity, young men and women who will save their families, who will provide leadership for their families, because these grounds in this camp will build the Josephs of tomorrow.
Here are some images from Good Friday services attended by President Ali at the Rumvelt Life Improvement Center in Avocado Square, East Rumvelt, and Life Spring Ministries at Chatamarga, East Coast, Demerara. On Saturday, President Ali held a community meeting in the village of Rukamutu, where he listened to the concerns of the residents and offered solutions. President Ali then commissioned the 993 million Karasabay airstrip. The project spans a length of 3,000 feet by 50 feet and will create better connectivity for the region. This concludes this week's President's Diary, reflecting the continued service and statesmanship of His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. Thank you for watching, and do join us for another edition next week.
In Region 1, a quiet transformation is currently taking place, and one that's reshaping the way children learn about their environment and their cultural heritage. Through a new curriculum titled My Barima Waini and Me, Our Cultural Landscapes and Wildlife, children are being introduced to ecosystems that exist right in their own communities. The curriculum comes out of conservation work rooted in one simple idea: children must first learn to love what they're asked to protect.
Our journey started out with sea turtle conservation at Shell Beach. And of course, as you may know, Shell Beach is Guyana's only coastal protected area. At that time, it was very important, other than protecting the turtles that came up to nest at Shell Beach between the months of March to August, that we also work with the kids in the surrounding communities.
With Ms. Arjun's passion for conservation, the excitement was contagious, sparking a wave of enthusiasm among students and communities alike.
And the intent was to have these kids engage with these giants. Leatherback could grow as big as 1,800 pounds, the size of a small car. To have the kids engage with these gentle giants at an early age, to make that very deep connection. And a matter of fact, in the first trip that we did, Marty D'Souza from Moruca was one of the kids on that first trip. And when he went back to Moruca, he founded the first environmental club in Guyana. Now today, Marty is in charge of the Ministry of Education's hinterland program. So it's a real full circle moment because he has been critical in terms of enabling all the work that we have done in Region 1 from 25 years ago when he went out as a young boy to now he's actually heading the Intland program.
Since then, the program has expanded with the involvement of the European Union supporting the Forest Governance Program in Region 1. But what began as a separate engagement quickly evolved into something more.
The European Union supports our Forest Governance Program in Region 1. And when we went to sign the agreement, Ambassador Van Ness said that they were supporting the environmental curriculum work in Region 9 and that he hoped that there could be some synergies there. And immediately I contacted the South Rupununi Conservation Society and asked if there was a possibility for us to collaborate.
The South Rupununi Conservation Society has been building its own unique model of environmental education.
We were also founded about 25 years ago, and that moment occurred because as a result of a discovery of the red siskin. So the red siskin is, at the time, was a critically endangered finch species, heavily trafficked in the 60s. And that discovery led to a group of concerned friends, family that came together and realized that this bird needed to be protected. And of course, through that process, we had to collaborate with schools and the village councils to be able to do those surveys.
And from those surveys came a partnership with school administrators who got the students involved.
This started out as a simple educational sessions specifically for bird watching. And then that progressed on to us realizing that the kids were extremely excited, extremely interested in being outdoors and learning about the environment right outside their school compounds.
Environmental education became a centerpiece for every project, and from this came the idea to develop a curriculum specifically geared for the Rupununi.
The name of the curriculum is called My Rupununi and Me. The first year of that curriculum really focuses on local wildlife, the local environment, and this was really to introduce kids to the local wildlife around them and get them familiar with it. And the second year, the kids get to design their own projects for whatever environmental issues that their communities were facing. And the whole point of this was really what we had realized from our early sessions, our simple bird watching sessions, is that the kids were already knowledgeable in some way, shape, or form about their local environment. It's just that it's never been formally recognized, acknowledged, and valued in the school system. So in the classroom, the teachers would teach the theoretical aspects of it, and outdoors, they get to take their workbooks and they go out there and quite literally like the surroundings, you go out there and you see a bird, you write that bird down. And if you don't know the bird, sometimes they would know the local language, and we encourage that.
The same collaborative, community-driven model that was used in Region 9 was applied to develop the environmental curriculum in Region 1.
In our training facility at Imbatero, which I'm happy Maya went and saw for herself, when we put that facility to have the workshops and the training and to host the kids and their visits as well, I ensured that we painted the entire myth of the Warao people, a beautiful mural on the ceiling that was done by our own Indigenous artist, Courtney Maturian Douglas. Because again, it tells the story of the Waraos being sky peoples who came down to earth and they're now living in this, watery landscape for 11,000 years.
The development of the environmental curriculum brought together SBM Offshore Guyana, the Department of Education Region 1, and the National Center for Education Resource Development, or NCERD.
We have a very rich legacy in terms of our national conservation initiatives, pre-LCDS, and of course now with LCDS 2030. and all of the work, for example, that the president is doing under the Global Biodiversity Summit Alliance, and the plans to continue on that initiative. So I think we have all these pockets in the different regions doing phenomenal environmental awareness work.
Science with a unique conservation system.
That work has earned the team a prestigious award in March 2026, the St. Andrews Prize for the Environment. It was presented to the Environmental Education Curriculum Coordinator, Alyssa Melville.
We won that St. Andrews Prize for the Environment, and that comes with a $95,000 US support in order to advance the environmental education curriculum, not only for Guyana, but the future of the environmental education, and see how it can be adapted to other countries in the Guyanas, South America, beyond. But it's an extremely emotional. We're deeply proud of Alyssa, and this goes to our partners, the communities, the kids. Yeah, it's a big day for us today.
As Guyana continues to invest in innovative, community-driven environmental solutions, this achievement signals a powerful step forward in shaping a more sustainable and informed future. With global recognition and growing regional potential, the environmental curriculum stands as a testament to what collaboration, vision, and leadership can achieve, both at home and beyond our borders. Excitement was in the air at the National Cultural Center on Tuesday. 613 beaming graduates from Region 3 and 4 donned their black robes to proudly receive their certificates. These graduates all successfully completed a number of technical and vocational courses that were offered by the Board of Industrial Training, BIT. Many of them eager to share their excitement and their plans for the future.
I feel that I've made an achievement towards my goal, and I'm glad that I did it, especially being so young, because I haven't graduated school as yet. So this is just one of those milestones.
I gained a lot of experience in 6 months. I actually learned to operate and got myself a job where I'm operating currently, and I'm proud of myself today to come and do my graduation.
Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, addressed the graduates, encouraging them to seize the opportunities that are now available.
The jobs are being created more rapidly than we can train people to fill them. But of course, we are training people, such as yourselves. You took the initiative to sign up for the training program. That alone tells me that you are a self-selected group of people.
Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, encouraged the graduates to move forward with a sense of purpose and pride.
You are the next chapter of this journey, the next generation of skilled professionals who will carry this legacy forward. As you step into the world of work, remember the path before you, the path which has been built for you through commitment, sacrifice, and purpose. It is now yours to advance, to innovate, and to elevate.
Minister Griffith also noted that the graduates are not just certificate holders, but also builders of a stronger, more prosperous Guyana.
It's better to have that on-hand help than online, and I'm glad that the government has provided this program for us. And it will employ a lot of young Guyanese.
I'm very thankful to the government to giving these opportunities out to people, whereby they could, be a character of themselves, be somebody with a career, and where they can call themselves somebody and have an importance, and not just be around the place doing things that don't make sense.
Gold mining in the Marudi Mountains, it dates back to more than a century, to a time when miners operated in an atmosphere of uncertainty, with little to no coordination and operations were scattered randomly across the region. But all of that is now behind the mining community of Marudi.
I came to Marudi when I was 20 years old. I'm 57, going 58 this year.
Meet Leslie Caledon. He arrived in Marudi to chase an opportunity far from home. And he never left.
Traditionally, we used to work fetching bags on the mountain, from up the mountain to down the mountain. We used to go in holes too, right? I mean, tunnels. But all the stuff due to years, year after year, people used to die getting covered on the mountain and what's not.
Today, miners are telling a very different story.
In the previous government, they had opened a way for us, but too much of biting and tugging between those people. It closed down. But this government here had happened for open back. Hey, right? And it's more easy for we. Because we eating, we drinking, we ain't have to spend money for go up the mountain for bring down load. You understand? You just pay for your load and it reach you by your door.
You don't got to fetch no bag and your back coming down and watch out. You just go up there with your little jet and thing on the crusher, do your thing, post it, if you take a 2 hours, you get in the 25,000 in your pocket.
But that shift from the past to the present didn't happen overnight. Change came after the government worked tirelessly with miners and village tushaus, conducting 11 formal consultations across Region 9.
When this present government in 2020, they accommodated us regionally. They call a group of people, miners, for us to go to town, Georgetown, President House, to see the Vice President, Minister Bharat, and some other people. And they asked us how many people we think can be working here within 5 years, how we can get the structure, potato and pan structure, our knowledge there.
Things began to improve. What was once a haphazard mining operation in Marudi is now a far better regulated industry.
You had to form a group to have a permit to work from GGMC. This one is right there. So they advised us to join the Guyana Co-op Society, which we did. And we registered the Rupununi Mining Association Co-op Society Limited. That, under the name thing, you got 40 legal miners here, franchise holder, who are here before us. I told you, the greater time they give us license. So we who had license operation here, we were considered, because remember, we fight for it.
It's much more organized than previously. At least for the one year that we're here. And we appreciate the organization and the leadership both of the miners and the regulatory agencies, and to the extent the government. So I think we all play a role in that.
The new mining regulations come with environmental safeguards, such as a ban on the use of mercury. And there is also strict oversight. The Guyana Geology and Mines Commission maintains a visible presence on the ground in Marudi.
The purpose of the GGMC here has always been to maintain strict compliance with the mining practices and to ensure that gold produced in Marudi goes to the Guyana Gold Board and is sold only to the Guyana Gold Board or licensed traders. And that has been happening. That has been an excellent initiative by Mr. Rees and RMA and the Minister. So we are at a very high level of compliance in the mining activities at Marudi.
But regulation alone isn't the full story. For communities in the deep south of Rupununi, inclusion plays a key part in fueling the industry.
It's only fair for us to be part of the, of the table, to sit around the table to see how we can bring some solution to some of the issues that currently exist.
For leaders like Nicholas Fredericks, consultation between the key stakeholders leaves little to no room for misinformation to creep in.
This meeting would have tabled some issues that would have been misleading by other social media platforms. And we would have been a bit pleased with some of the questions that was asked, and the response would have been, much more pleasing to some of the misleading information that would have been tabled out on social media.
But beyond new regulations, there is no denying the immense benefits mining delivers to families and communities. Across several villages, employment, small businesses, and community-led projects are all feeding off the energy of mining. And in some cases, revenues are being reinvested into long-term development, managed transparently and reported at village meetings.
We have projects set aside for livelihoods. We doesn't want to go and just blow out money on celebrations, march, or any other kind of occasion, but for projects, we want to leave a legacy that is there for the village.
We keep benefiting every time. For example, the printer is much needed where we can use it now. It makes work much easier for us. If you look around in the classroom, we have printed stuff. We don't have to write anymore like we used to before.
I know presently the village council, they have a crusher in there, and the profits that's made is going to the community to help villagers, especially in the water situation that we have.
The tangible impact of mining is trickling down and benefiting every facet of life in Marudi.
Because most of the miners, they stop here to support, in whatever ways, most of the time. And yes, I could say because of the mining or Marudi, I'm here doing business.
And those businesses are driving employment in the Marudi surrounding communities.
All the indigenous persons that are working here from all parts of Region 9, not just Aishalton or Crowdar or Awarno, across Region 9.
I mean, there are persons coming in from different locations, villages coming in to work here, and I think they are earning something. And when they go out, they would, I think that's the only way the people can maintain their family.
The prospects of growth in the mining sector highlights the need for more training of locals to take up high-paying technical jobs. Those jobs have traditionally gone to foreigners. As for the young man running this control room, he is Amerindian from this very region, a son of the Deep South. He is responsible for one of the most advanced operations at the mine.
Here we are at my plant, MC Trainer Mining Company. This is the control room for the operation. It's fully electrical. And this is one of our own Amerindian from Crowdar village that is controlling this area here.
For an industry that was once fragmented, the transition over the last several years is not only visible here, but the benefits are being felt in communities across the South Rupununi.
Assembling scaffolding equipment properly is vital to ensuring a safe worksite. And now, the Board of Industrial Training BIT at Unity Mahaica can offer future Guyanese workers practical hands-on training on how to put together a scaffold. On Monday, SBM Offshore donated tubes, ladders, and other essential scaffolding equipment to support BIT. Additionally, Panthera Solutions Inc. delivered scaffolding accessories to further enable BIT's lecturers with the necessary science of scaffolding. Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, stressed that workplace safety must continue to be a priority.
This donation today takes the Board of Industrial Training closer to being able to supply and provide Guyanese with opportunities so that they can work in every sphere of our society's development, especially in the higher risk ones. And so this will go a very, very far way, not only in workforce development, but in capacity building and local content.
The BIT program will focus on hazard identification and fall prevention, addressing one of the leading causes of workplace injuries in Guyana.
It's time for the weekly digest. We're going to find out what our ministers have been up to this week. Dominican Republic Week made its historic debut in Guyana with a vibrant launch at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Honorable Susan Rodriguez, joined Dominican Republic Ambassador, His Excellency Ernesto Torres Pereira, for the ceremonial ribbon cutting, marking the official start of the celebration. The two-day event showcased Dominican culture and commerce while also opening pathways for cultural exchange and business collaboration between Guyana and the Dominican Republic. Speaking at the launch of the revised laws of Guyana 2022 and the Guyana Law Reports 2008 to 2021 at the Ortichong Conference Center in Liliandau, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Mohabir Anil Nandalal, highlighted the importance of accessible, updated legal information in ensuring citizens can understand and exercise their rights.
This launch is the culmination of a project that will allow easy access to two primary sources of law: statute law, that is legislation enacted by Parliament, and secondly, judge-made law, that is law made by judicial decisions interpreting and applying the laws enacted by Parliament. The law revision component of the project involved the consolidation as well as the revision of all current legislation. This is a process of combining the legislative provisions on a single topic into one coherent enactment. Repealed provisions are removed and replaced with new ones, and principal acts are reorganized to accommodate the new amendments.
Honorable Dr. Ashni Singh, Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, attended the opening of the Demerara Bank Limited's new Bedford-Wachting branch.
Here is a bank that is only barely 3 decades old and has moved from having a zero depositor base now to having the third largest depositor base in the country. And the two other banks that have a larger depositor base than you are banks that have more than 100 years of presence in Guyana and previously in what was then British Guyana. You have built a credit base that is now the second largest amongst all banks operating in Guyana, exceeded only by the oldest bank and the largest bank operating in Guyana.
On Tuesday, Minister Dr. Vindhya Prasad attended the United Nations Guyana Annual Retreat and Joint National Steering Committee meeting at Hermanston Lodge. Also attending the same events was Minister Gil Tashiro. The engagement focused on key sectors and strengthening collaboration. Minister Prasad called for increased UN support to enhance social services. The International Building Expo 2026 was officially launched Thursday evening at the Railway Courtyard, scheduled for June 25th to 28th at the Guyana National Stadium. The 4-day event will explore opportunities in Guyana's growing housing and construction sectors.
International Building Expo turns 16 this year, and I'm very pleased to officially launch our 2026 edition this evening, recognizing that this is our 5th consecutive years after being halted during the APNU period.
Minister of Natural Resources Honorable Vikram Bharat attended the 29th biannual private VIP Board of Advisors dinner of the Bilateral Chamber of Commerce. Minister Bharat was the guest of honor and was recognized for his significant contributions to the energy and petroleum sector. Honorable Onej Waldron, Minister of Home Affairs, attended the Regional Security System Council of Ministers meeting in St. Lucia. The gathering brought together regional leaders and international partners to strengthen collective security, resilience, and stability across the Caribbean. The Honorable Hugh Hilton Todd, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, hosted Professor Aman Morira, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of Zimbabwe. The ministers discussed strengthening bilateral relations, technical cooperation in agriculture, CARICOM African Union ties, and Guyana's United Nations Security Council experience. Minister Todd pledged full support for Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council for 2027 to 2028. Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Zeerbrang Shadik, handed over the keys of a brand new ambulance to the residents of Maburuma sub-region. The ambulance will be an asset to healthcare system and help improve access to timely and quality medical care across Region 1. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips met with representatives of the European Union and private sector partners at the Office of the Prime Minister on Camp Street. The meeting focused on strengthening Guyana's digital transformation through collaboration and infrastructure, technological innovation, and strategic partnerships under the AU-LAC Digital Alliance and Global Gateway Initiative. During the UN Country Team Annual Retreat in Guyana, discussions on public sector efficiency, governance, and digital transformation were advanced as Honorable Zulfikar Ali, Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation, engaged with United Nations representatives and national stakeholders. Honorable Deodat Indar, Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation, shared key insights during a panel on international energy integration at the Amazonas Oil and Gas Energy Expo Conference 2026 in Manaus, Brazil. Honorable Kioma Griffith, Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning, highlighted the key role of Guyanese companies and workers at the Modec Hammerhead FPSO steel cutting ceremony, emphasizing that national development is driven by people, opportunity, and shared growth. The Ministry of Health, in partnership with Mount Sinai Health System, has launched a national initiative to strengthen hospital quality and patient safety across Guyana's new regional hospitals. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony highlighted plans for a Hospital Quality Improvement Council, regional councils, and facility-level committees to drive coordinated quality improvements.
This workshop is the first of many that we'll be doing, and as we put this framework in place, it's going to be a very interactive process where we come down to each of the regions and work with you to see how these systems are functioning. We don't have all the guidelines. So we'll have at the ministry level, we'll have to set up some committees to work on different guidelines. The committee would know everything. So what we need is, while you might have a core group of people, we will bring in the relevant experts to work with us so that we can develop these guidelines.
Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa met with a Barbados delegation led by Chantal Monroe Knight to advance cooperation in food security and agriculture. Talks highlighted the Black Belly Sheep Program, which has grown from 1,000 sheep received in 2022 to over 3,000 with crossbreeding, supporting regional meat production. Minister Mustafa also launched Guyana's first aromatic rice variety, Gaimati GRDB19, a high-value crop aimed at boosting farmer profitability and national production. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya Manachan met with Senior Superintendent Johnny Johnson and Director Devon Su of the Guyana Police Force Command Center SAFE initiative to discuss strategies for using the Smart Country Camera system to identify, penalize, and deter littering. We leave you with these images as several areas in Georgetown and along the coast experienced flooding following hours of heavy rainfall. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa is assessing drainage structures nationwide alongside NDIA officials, confirming that all systems are operational and functioning on a 24 basis. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manachan, has also been on the ground in affecting communities, engaging residents, and evaluating conditions as efforts continue to deliver timely relief and support. Welcome to the President's Diary, your weekly update on the leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. This week, the President championed his mission of creating a digital economy while also joining worshippers in Ratri celebrations. Guyana's rapid economic transformation is placing new demands on the country's legal system. President Mohamed Irfaan Ali stressed that modern, clear, and accessible laws are vital for Guyana to attract and maintain foreign investments. Speaking at the launch of the revised laws of Guyana 2022 and the Guyana Law Reports 2008 to 2021, President Ali noted that a strong legal framework is essential for preserving order and supporting national development.
We need to understand the deep and far-reaching effect of laws. Without law, there is no order. Without order, there is only chaos. It is for this reason that Guyana stands and must always stand as a law-based society.
On Monday, President Ali announced that Guyana will launch a national payment platform and expand digital wallet access within 6 months as part of efforts to modernize the financial sector and promote cashless transactions. He made a statement during the opening of a new branch of Demerara Bank Limited on the east coast of Demerara.
In the next 6 months, I've advised the governor of the central bank that we must be in a position that a national payment platform must be fully operational, and we must have access to digital wallets at a national level and at a national scale.
The head of state used the observance of the Hindu festival of Navratri to encourage Guyanese to reflect on the blessings in their lives. Speaking on Monday evening at the Better Hope Mandir along the east coast of Demerara, President Ali emphasized the importance of gratitude and mindfulness. Later in the week, he attended services at the Santiya Jyote Vishnu Mandir in Canal No. 2 on the west bank of Demerara and the Alexander Village Mandir in Georgetown.
A season that is filled with the mercies of God, a season through which we reflect, we give praise to God, and we allow ourselves an opportunity to achieve inner peace. We allow ourselves an opportunity to take the burdens off of the everyday life from our shoulder and reach deep within ourselves.
President Ali received the letters of credence from Ireland's non-resident ambassador to Guyana, Martin Gallagher, at the office of the president. During the meeting, they discussed opportunities for collaboration and investment in areas such as health, technology, energy, climate resilience, food security, education, and digitalization. The head of state met with Guyana's major sanitation service providers to advance a more efficient and modern waste management system. President Ali reaffirmed his government's commitment to investing in the sector to support growth and improve garbage collection countrywide. President Ali met with U.S. Special Envoy and former Homeland Security Secretary Ms. Christine Noem and her delegation. The purpose of the visit was to advance discussions on the Shield of the Americas agenda following a summit held earlier in March and hosted by President Donald Trump in Doral, Miami-Dade, Florida. President Ali also met with executives of the Guyana Motor Racing and Sports Club to explore ways to develop the sport through public-private partnerships and position Guyana as a world-class sporting destination. The executives updated President Ali on improvements to the South Dakota racing circuit ahead of the GT Challenge De Las Americas series in July. The head of state met with senior executives of the Business Alliance of Ibero-America at the office of the president. The meeting comes as Guyana works to strengthen its global partnerships. CEAPI, which includes over 190 leaders from major Ibero-American and Spanish companies, discuss expanding investment, innovation, and strategic collaboration. Representatives of the Bedford-Walking football community recently met with President Ali to discuss the development and growth of football in their area. During the meeting, the community highlighted the successes of government partnerships and explored ways to further strengthen collaboration and increase football participation nationwide. President Ali, speaking at the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union's 50th anniversary at the Artichoke Conference Center on Thursday, recognized GAHU's pivotal role in advocating for workers' rights and praised its consistent defense of fair wages, improved working conditions, and dignity even during challenging political and economic periods.
The recognition of GAHU by the sugar industry was the product of decades of sacrifice and struggles by the union and its workers. Recognition in 1976 was a victory carved out of hardship and sustained by courage.
This concludes this week's President's Diary, reflecting the continued service and statesmanship of His Excellency, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you another edition.
Welcome to Region 2 Hydroponic Facility, right? It's one of 3 in the country. This is the only one on Region 2. So what we basically do here is that we focus on high value crops. Okay, that's what we cultivate. Pak choy, we got celery, we got shallot, we have peppers and tomatoes over there. Okay, so this whole operation is about modern agriculture and not the traditional way where it's labor intensive, where you actually have to go into the sun and be doing laborious work. As you can see, it's well nicely laid out. The beds are raised for easy access. This is it. The plants grow in a nutrient-rich solution. Okay? What it does, it guarantees faster growth, more uniform crop, okay, which we are able to now sell to the community. We sell at an affordable price, steady supply, so as to guarantee food security within the surrounding communities. So this will help mitigate, like when we have bad weather conditions, we have excessive rain, we have excessive drought, our facility keeps producing because we're controlled. Every aspect of the production is controlled. So we're not susceptible to the harshness of the weather, so to speak.
The government really do something nice here, build a nice shade house here. I produce a lot of things from this shade house here. As the cheapest cost, at least I'm a farmer too. I have customers who supply like greens and things, so I produce for the market there. So when I come here, I get a cheaper cost, so I can give it customers for a cheaper cost, so they can even make $1. When at the end of the day, you know, you must satisfy with everything. So I really thank the government for all what you do here.
We are overjoyed with this. It makes the resident comfortable. You know, market is a heartbeat for a community, and Saudi market is one of the going markets when it comes to Sunday. Vendors from charity to Supunam always be attracted to Saudi, and with this great initiative of this government and the way that our market would attract more vendors, and as presently now the market is under construction, as you can see, right? And they'll be accommodating approximately 131 vendors, which will make life easier for us also, because if you see on the road, we have road vending, which is illegal, and which we see the market could accommodate that amount, and I think it could accommodate more, because which will be beneficial for them and the safety also for the road. So I must thank the government, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, for this, and also local government. Mayor Minister Priyamanichan play a great role by assisting us and making everyone's life comfortable. Thank you.
First of all, gratitude to the government of Guyana for such a massive investment into Region 2. Here we're standing at the training center here in Saudi, which is near completion. And upon completion, we will be training healthcare providers in all categories. meaning from community health workers, medical laboratory technicians, nursing assistants, pharmacy assistants, registered nurses. And also, we will be having a Faculty of Health Science here, where our people here in Region 2 can study medicine here and have their practical and training done at the Lima Regional Hospital. This training center will benefit all of our people here in Region 2, especially the young folks who've just finished school, who parents are adamant to send them to Georgetown. But rather now they will have that opportunity to study here and to say that upon completion of whichever course they're doing, they will be given a job upon completion of their course. So it is an investment that the government has made for the people of Region 2, and we're looking forward that upon completion, our people here in Region 2, especially the young people, make the most of this opportunity and can be trained here and serve their people right here in Region 2, so that, sometimes we have a shortage of medical staff and so on. So with these facilities, and this one especially, this will reduce that gap that we have with healthcare providers. And so we will have adequate staff, and the service can be optimal. And at the end of it, our people here in Region 2 will benefit from these training, and they will be given a job and can provide for their families.
It is time for the Weekly Digest. We're going to find out what our ministers have been up to this week.
The arrival of the London-based MS Hebridean Sky in Georgetown on Wednesday marks a significant expansion of Guyana's presence in the global cruise tourism market. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Susan Rodriguez, led the welcome reception at the Gaisuku Sugar Terminal in West Remveld on Wednesday.
We welcome you on behalf of our President Ali, government of Guyana, and the people of Guyana. Welcome to Georgetown. We are extremely happy to welcome your crew.
Designers and performers from across the country were honored during an award ceremony and concert at Castellani House on Saturday evening for bringing color and cultural pride to this year's Mashramani celebrations. During the prize-giving ceremony, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson said the government released funds earlier and engaged designers months ahead of time to allow creatives to have more time to properly curate their pieces.
This event, this Mashramani event that we have, is our most important cultural event that we have. It has been built over decades. It is now at the point where we can say it is taking off to becoming a world-class type of event.
A $5.8 billion housing investment is changing lives across Guyana, as 29 families received the keys to their new homes under the government's Affordable Housing and Urban Accessibility Program. The initiative, which began in 2017, is funded through a partnership between the governments of Guyana and the Inter-American Development Bank and targets vulnerable families in Georgetown and surrounding areas. It aims to improve living conditions for low-income families, delivering not just homes but vital infrastructure. 109 vendors who will be relocated from the Lagrange-Baggotsville corridor participated in a lottery exercise on Saturday to determine their designated vending spots. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgel organized the activity following consultations and a walkthrough with the vendors last week, where 2 areas were identified where vending could be accommodated.
Last week we came and we met the vendors, explained to them the work, and we got agreements that we will develop 2 areas. This street that leads to the police station and both shoulders. And when we were finished doing that, and we realized we didn't have enough space, we went to the other, which will be the southern side of the number 1 canal, and developed a space.
Over 4,600 farmers across Guyana are benefiting from enhanced support under the Sustainable Agricultural Development Program, commonly known as SADP. The program, which is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, has delivered improved technology, equipment, and training to farmers, boosting productivity and strengthening the agricultural sector. Speaking at the program's exit workshop at the World Trade Center, Georgetown, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa highlighted the impact of the initiative.
The SATP clearly achieves the objective of assisting farmers to enhance their productivity and improve their livelihood. Also strengthening our agriculture institution and modernize the systems that guide the agricultural sector in Guyana. It does not only address output growth, but promotes sustainable use of our natural resources. Guyana is a setting example by demonstrating that we can still fulfill our global obligation to the Sustainable Development Goals while simultaneously advancing agriculture, empowering our people, and protecting our environment.
Minister of Education Sonia Parag visited Grade 6 Mathematics tent at Dolphin Secondary School on Saturday morning, where she encouraged students to speak up when they don't understand and to attend the classes consistently. She also urged them to make full use of the support available. With exams approaching, Minister Parag reminded students to stay focused, showing they're working clearly and trust the process, emphasizing that discipline, patience, and consistency are key to doing their best. The Tiger Bay community demonstrates an eagerness to succeed as government reaffirms its commitment to expand access to jobs, skills, development, and economic opportunity for every Guyanese. On Monday evening, the residents interacted with the Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, and a team, where they received first-hand information and guidance about employment and skills training opportunities available through the Board of Industrial Training, BIT, and the Central Recruitment and Manpower Agency. And with that, we have concluded another episode of Weekly Digest. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next time.
Eid Mubarak, and welcome back to another episode of the President's Diary, where we bring you up to date on the work of His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali in driving development across the country. This week was quite a busy one, from Eid celebrations in Lenora to high-level meetings at State House to community engagements on the ground, like literally on the ground. Let's take a look.
To have a conversation with the football club, and then you have a cricket club, and he's going to bring back gears and equipment for all of you. All right? Yeah. For football and for cricket. Your Excellency.
Oh, you said all right, all right.
Hold on the prison.
Hold.
All right. What is that? That's it.
During his walkabout on Thursday afternoon, President Ali reaffirmed his commitment to developing communities across Guyana, noting that East Ramveld is no exception. He listened to the concerns of residents and provided solutions.
Having walked around the community, it is clear that strong emphasis is being placed on community activity, on education, and most of the children here that he spoke to are in school. And most of them are engaged in something positive. And that is important for us, that we want to create a society and create communities with positive vibes, positive living.
The president announced plans to address drainage, sanitation, and infrastructure issues, including a new market tarmac. On Thursday, the president also delivered the feature address at the annual general meeting of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry at the Guyana Marriott Hotel.
I also want to join with President Trump and the United States in calling on all parties in the Gulf to move towards dialogue and to have constructive conversation
in normalizing the situation.
It was on this note the president reiterated the call for the establishment of Guyana's very own oil refinery. During his keynote address at the Guyana Prison Service Senior Officers Conference, Dr. Ali said that focus should be placed on a prison avoidance development strategy with the aim of reducing custodial sentencing.
The past 5 years, the Guyana Prison Service has undergone a remarkable transformation. The process reflects government's commitment to justice, rehabilitation, and the modernization of our correctional system. And so, the officers of the Guyana Prison Service, I say to you, the task before you over the next 5 years is clear. You must strengthen security, advance rehabilitation, and build a prison avoidance system. Every act of professionalism inside your correctional facilities contributes to a safer Guyana.
On the diplomatic forefront, the president accepted the letters of credence from the non-resident ambassador of Hungary to Guyana, His Excellency Michalos Tamas, non-resident ambassador of the Republic of Angola to Guyana, His Excellency Manuel Eduardo dos Santos y Silva Bravo, non-resident High Commissioner of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan to Guyana, His Excellency Murad Ashraf Janjua, non-resident High Commissioner of the Republic of Ghana to Guyana, His Excellency Amasa Namole, non-resident Ambassador of the Republic of Bulgaria to Guyana, Her Excellency Eleonora Dimitriova. Meanwhile, at State House, the head of state met with Tushaus from the Deep South Rupununi to discuss the district's developmental agenda. The president underscored the district's potential in forest and biodiversity conservation, among other areas, and highlighted the role it plays in both the local and national economy.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Long before the sun rose on Saturday morning, President Ali joined the Muslim community at the Muslim Youth Organization to celebrate Eid al-Fitr.
As we embark on this joyous occasion of Eid, let us remember the elderly. Let us remember our parents. Let us remember our community. And I want to remind you that even if our parents are no longer with us, we are reminded that we have a duty in maintaining kinship and friendship, upholding ties with relatives, and honoring, visiting, or helping the friends of deceased parents. Too many of our families are broken by siblings fighting against each other. Fighting against each other for what? Let this Eid be the one in which you bury your pride, and regardless of the circumstances, pick up the phone and call your sibling and just say Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. Let the joy of Eid and the blessings of Ramadan be that impetus that allow us to be different, that allow us to be merciful.
The president then visited his childhood home in Laguan, then his residence in Lenora for more Eid celebrations.
And that's a wrap on this week's edition of the President's Diary. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next time.
It is now time for the weekly digest. We're going to find out what our ministers have been up to this week. As part of the government's ongoing commitments to create cleaner, healthier communities, 10 garbage compactor trucks are currently en route to Region 2 to strengthen solid waste management in the region. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priyamanik Chand, is bringing the president's promise to reality by ensuring every Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC, and municipality is equipped with at least one garbage compactor truck.
So we're very, very glad to be able to do this for you and with you. But we expect to see a cleaner Essequibo coast. We expect to see you starting campaigns that bring in the kind of energy where people do not want to litter on the streets, where people do not want to throw their garbage away on the streets. So we expect to see a cleaner Essequibo coast.
Guyana is reaffirming its commitment to strengthening access to justice for women and girls on the international stage. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindya Prasad on Wednesday delivered a presentation at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women in New York, highlighting Guyana's progress in advancing gender equality.
Access to justice is fundamental to achieve gender equality. Legislation must be accompanied by education on rights, access to affordable legal services, effective law enforcement, and timely and reasoned judicial action. Trust is also critical. Women and girls must believe that pursuing action will yield justice.
Support systems are also helping survivors access medical care, legal assistance, and safe shelter through the Hope and Justice Centers across Guyana. Approximately 6 weeks ago, President Irfan Ali launched an ambitious homestead agricultural project, and on Wednesday, the women of Tiger Bay harvested their first crop. They were accompanied by the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, Local Government Minister Priyamanik Chand, and Sport Minister Stephen Jacobs and other technical officers.
Approximately between 30 to 40 pounds of celery here, right? With the price, the current price, this is approximately $40,000 per ton. And every week beyond that, you'll harvest another $40,000. So by the end of it, you might harvest approximately close to $250,000.
And the whole idea is to make us, one, self-sufficient, and two, income earners, and with particular focus on our vulnerable communities, which would be really women and young people.
Plans are underway to expand, with 50 shade houses to be established in and around Tiger Bay. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, attended the Amazonia Forever meeting as part of the 2026 annual meetings of the Boards of Governors of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and IDB Invest, being held in Asuncion, Paraguay. During discussions, he reaffirmed Guyana's strong support for the Amazonia Forever initiative, which aligns with Guyana's pioneering low-carbon development strategy 2030.
I'm extremely pleased to say that during the course of next week, these central government employees who already received their government salaries into their bank accounts will receive their cash grants next week.
Back home in Guyana, the finance minister announced that the first tranche of cash grant payments will commence next week. Under the new system, payments will be made directly through banks, a move designed to eliminate long lines often associated with cash grant distribution.
We want to encourage as many people as possible to receive their cash grant in using the same modality.
For the first time ever, fifth form students across Guyana will be able to access and pursue their driver theory curriculum directly through the Guyana Digital School, ensuring they graduate secondary school fully equipped with essential road safety and road use knowledge. This landmark initiative was the focus of a strategic meeting held on Friday with the Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, the Minister of Home Affairs, Onij Walron, and the Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith. A total of 123 trainees have graduated from the Board of Industrial Training, marking a significant milestone in their journey. On Tuesday, at the Unity Training Center, graduates received their certificates in plumbing, electrical installation, and heavy-duty operation. At the simple ceremony, Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, reminded the graduates that the skills they now possess come with responsibility.
You all now have the ability to establish businesses. You all now have the ability to make meaningful impact in your communities. You all now have the ability to become employers and employ persons in your community. And when you think about the effect of that and how that trickles down, you see that this is a government that that continues to put people first.
Vigor and competitive energy were on full display as 1,250 athletes from across Guyana gathered to represent their secondary schools at the National Secondary Schools Track and Field Championships 2026. The championships were officially declared open by Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips at the Lenora Track and Field facility on Wednesday. Addressing the athletes, the Prime Minister highlighted the importance of sporting events in shaping the overall development of young people.
Events such as this celebrate talent and discipline and provide a platform for our young people to test their abilities and push their limits in pursuit of their athletic dreams. Sports as a whole play a vital role in the development of our youth. It provides you, our young people, with a positive outlet while fostering values such as respect, endurance, responsibility, sportsmanship, and perseverance.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Friday handed over 6 ambulances to support the operations of the country's newly commissioned regional hospitals. The ambulances will serve the Lima Regional Hospital in Region 2, the Kindred Hospital in Region 3, the Diamond Hospital in Region 4, Enmore Regional Hospital in Region 4, the Bath Regional Hospital in Region 5, and the number 75 Village Regional Hospital in Region 6. Each ambulance was procured at a cost of $18 million and will strengthen emergency response capabilities while improving the safe and timely transportation of patients requiring urgent medical care. And with that, we have wrapped up another week of the Weekly Digest, where we highlighted Guyana's path to transformation. I'll see you again next time. It is now time for the Weekly Digest. We're going to find out what our ministers have been up to this week. As part of the government's ongoing commitments to create cleaner, healthier communities, 10 garbage compactor trucks are currently en route to Region 2 to strengthen solid waste management in the region. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Priya Manik Chand is bringing the President's promise to reality by ensuring every Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC, and municipality is equipped with at least 1 garbage compactor truck.
So we're very, very glad to be able to do this for you and with you. But we expect to see a cleaner Essequibo coast. We expect to see you starting campaigns that bring in the kind of energy where people do not want to litter on the streets, where people do not want to throw their garbage away on the streets. So we expect to see a cleaner Essequibo coast.
Guyana is reaffirming its commitment to strengthening access to justice for women and girls on the international stage. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindya Prasad on Wednesday delivered a presentation at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women in New York, highlighting Guyana's progress in advancing gender equality.
Access to justice is fundamental to achieve gender equality. Legislation must be accompanied by education on rights, access to affordable legal services, effective law enforcement, and timely and reasoned judicial action. Trust is also critical. Women and girls must believe that pursuing action will yield justice.
Support systems are also helping survivors access medical care, legal assistance, and safe shelter through the Hope and Justice Centers across Guyana. Approximately 6 weeks ago, President Irfan Ali launched an ambitious homestead agricultural project, and on Wednesday, the women of Tiger Bay harvested their first crop. They were accompanied by the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, Local Government Minister Priya Manik Chand, and Sport Minister Stephen Jacobs and other technical officers.
Approximately between 30 to 40 pounds of celery here, right? With the price, the current price, this is approximately $40,000 per salad. And every week beyond that, you'll harvest another $40,000. So by the end of it, you might harvest approximately close to about $250,000 crop.
And the whole idea is to make us, one, self-sufficient, and two, income earners, and with particular focus on our vulnerable communities, which would be really women and young people.
Plans are underway to expand, with 50 shade houses to be established in and around Tiger Bay. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, attended the Amazonia Forever meeting as part of the 2026 annual meetings of the Boards of Governors of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and IDB Invest, being held in Asuncion, Paraguay. During discussions, he reaffirmed Guyana's strong support for the Amazonia Forever initiative, which aligns with Guyana's pioneering low-carbon development strategy 2030.
I'm extremely pleased to say that during the course of next week, these central government employees who already received their government salaries into their bank accounts will receive their cash grants next week.
Back home in Guyana, the finance minister announced that the first tranche of cash grant payments will commence next week. Under the new system, payments will be made directly through banks, a move designed to eliminate long lines often associated with cash grant distribution.
We want to encourage as many people as possible to receive their cash grant in using the same modality.
For the first time ever, fifth form students across Guyana will be able to access and pursue their driver theory curriculum directly through the Guyana Digital School, ensuring they graduate secondary school fully equipped with essential road safety and road use knowledge. This landmark initiative was the focus of a strategic meeting held on Friday with the Minister of Education, Sonia Parag, the Minister of Home Affairs, Onich Walron, and the Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith. A total of 123 trainees have graduated from the Board of Industrial Training, marking a significant milestone in their journey. On Tuesday at the Unity Training Center, graduates received their certificates in plumbing, electrical installation, and heavy-duty operation. At the simple ceremony, Minister of Labour and Manpower Planning, Keoma Griffith, reminded the graduates that the skills they now possess come with responsibility.
You all now have the ability to establish businesses. You all now have the ability to make meaningful impact in your communities. You all now have the ability to become employers and employ persons in your community. And when you think about the effect of that and how that trickles down, you see that this is a government that continues to put people first.
Vigor and competitive energy were on full display as 1,250 athletes from across Guyana gathered to represent their secondary schools at the National Secondary Schools Track and Field Championships 2026. The championships were officially declared open by Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips at the Lenora Track and Field facility on Wednesday. Addressing the athletes, the Prime Minister highlighted the importance of sporting events in shaping the overall development of young people.
Events such as this celebrate talent and discipline and provide a platform for our young people to test their abilities and push their limits in pursuit of their athletic dreams. Sports as a whole play a vital role in the development of our youth. It provides you, our young people, with a positive outlet while fostering values such as respect, endurance, responsibility, sportsmanship, and perseverance.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Friday handed over 6 ambulances to support the operations of the country's newly commissioned regional hospitals. The ambulances will serve the Lima Regional Hospital in Region 2, the Kindred Hospital in Region 3, the Diamond Hospital in Region 4, Enmore Regional Hospital in Region 4, the Bath Regional Hospital in Region 5, and the No. 75 Village Regional Hospital in Region 6. Each ambulance was procured at a cost of $18 million and will strengthen emergency response capabilities while improving the safe and timely transportation of patients requiring urgent medical care. And with that, we have wrapped up another week of the Weekly Digest, where we highlighted Guyana's path to transformation. I'll see you again next time.
Welcome to the President's Diary, your weekly journey through leadership in action, where decisions aren't just made, they're lived. Join us as we follow President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali in a week filled with service, strategy, and pride. Approximately 6 weeks ago, President Ali launched an ambitious homestead agricultural project.
So you will see us rotating every morning for the next 6 to 8 weeks until we have our crop ready to be harvested here in this demonstration shade house.
Last Wednesday, the Shade House demonstration at the One Guyana Kitchen on Main Street recorded its first harvest of 35 pounds of celery, with the first batch sold to Massey Supermarket at $1,300 per pound. Over the next 32 weeks, an average of 45 pounds will be harvested weekly, bringing total production for the cycle to approximately 1,475 pounds and generating an estimated $1.9 million in revenue. The head of state met with an executive team from Bloomberg Grain and Logistics, a U.S.-based agriculture company contracted to help boost Guyana's regional food hub and exports. The team was led by the CEO of the company, Mr. Philip Bloomberg. During the meeting, the head of state received an update on the development of the regional food hub. Discussions also centered on exploring additional investment opportunities with the government. The president also met with an executive team from Aris Mining, an international gold mining company. Discussions focus on the Toto Peru Gold Project in Region 7, which represents an investment of more than US $800 million in Guyana and is expected to generate employment for over 150 persons. The team was led by the company's chief executive officer, Mr. Neil Woodyer. The president spent some time on Friday afternoon with the vendors and shoppers at the Lenore Market. The president described the visit as valuable as he gets to see firsthand the work of the people who keep the local economy moving. On Saturday morning, the president visited the Lenora outfall, listening to the experiences and challenges of fishermen. The president said his government will continue to strengthen the fishing industry and support livelihoods. That's a wrap on this edition of President's Diary. Join us again next time as we continue to follow the footsteps of leadership.